Al Rabosky. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to the broadcast booth here at Busch Stadium. And once again, Al, it always begins with starting pitching and a chance for Reyes to really make a mark here in the final month of the season.
Absolutely. Pitching for your life and going out there and doing the job. Anthony has had a full week of rest. I don't know if that'll be the proper dosage for him or not. He's a guy that has usually one bad inning, and he also has given up 45% of his runs in either the first or second inning. So we'll see how the layoff affects him.
Reyes only 2 wins on the season. Now the Cardinals are without Scott Rowland. We don't know if he's going to come back this season or not, but they do have an insurance policy. Miguel Cairo is here in uniform tonight, activated tomorrow, and Russell Brandon has been added to this roster.
Well, Russell Brandon is a veteran third baseman. First of all, he is a third baseman. He has a lot of power, but you can see with just a 229 average, he has some holes in his swing. But the fact is, he is a feared hitter because he can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
For more on Russell Brandon, we head downstairs to Joe Goldberg. Joel.
Well, his number 33 is hanging up in the clubhouse. He is expected here tonight. And maybe the guy that knows him best, Gary Bennett, a former teammate of his. They actually have each played for 8 different organizations, teammates in 2004. And Bennett was a teammate of his in 04 when Brandon hit a 480-foot home run, the longest in Miller Park history. So they know he can bring that power here to St. Louis. We're going to take a break here at Busch Stadium. When we come back, Jim Hayes with a look around the major leagues. You're watching Cardinal Baseball on FSM Midwest.
Yeah, Cardinals Baseball on FSM Midwest is brought to you by Bud.tv, where entertainment is always on and only at www.bud.tv. By Auto Tire, the tire pros. For the lowest bottom line price, you ought to go to Auto Tire. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Should be a fun weekend of sports here in the Gateway City. We've got baseball tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday with Cincinnati in town. The start of a 7-game homestand for the Cardinals. College football tomorrow with Mizzou and Illinois. It should be a lot of fun. Let's take a look at the Reds lineup, playing a lot better as of late. This guy's had a terrific year. 19 seasons in the league. Ken Griffey Jr., 592 home runs, over 1,600 RBIs. Hamilton, Gonzalez, and Ken Griffey Jr. here in the first. And we highlight Brandon Phillips, who has been on a tear as of late. 10-game hitting streak with 4 home runs during the streak and 9 RBIs. And he is an exciting young player. Speaking of exciting young players, how about Josh Hamilton, his first full season in the major leagues? Takes a ball in the dirt from tonight's Rico starter, Anthony Reyes.
2-13, first time facing the Reds this year, 1-1 a year ago.
Isn't it nice to say 83 degrees our game time temperature?
And low humidity. Just delightful and a perfect night to watch Cardinal baseball.
1-1 pitch to Hamilton is on the outside corner. Home plate umpire is Tim Timmons. Rick Reed is at first. Alfonso Marquez at second. Chuck Merriweather is over at third.
Hamilton got it off to a good start. He was the National League rookie for the month of April, but he spent 2 stints on the disabled list and still very respectable numbers.
2-2 pitch is popped up left side and out of play. As Brendan Ryan, tonight's third baseman, gives it a look. And the Cardinals have added Russell Brandon. Miguel Cairo is here, but Brendan Ryan gets the start at third tonight.
And Brendan Ryan's done a nice job at third base, but filling in a position he's not comfortable or familiar with. And the Cardinals just felt like they needed some protection and insurance in case Scott Rowland is out for an extended period of time. Wait for the medical reports.
3-2 pitch is hit out to deep right center field, and just like that, one swing of the bat and it's 1-0 as Josh Hamilton takes one deep. Sitting on a 3-2 pitch, and it's home run number 18. And here we go again. Early inning troubles for Anthony Reyes.
Well, bad location. And when you talk about the Reds, that's 180 home runs now as a team, 18 for Josh Hamilton. Set up down and away, and he leaves the ball down and in. Right in the wheelhouse for a power-hitting outfielder. Well-documented feel-good story about Josh Hamilton, and he gives his teammates an early lead. They think they're in the middle of this pennant race, and they only trail by 6.5 games.
Teams have done that in the final month, made up 6.5 games.
Absolutely.
See the ERA by inning. Look at that.
Yeah, 45% of his runs have been in innings 1 or 2. And then now he hasn't pitched in a week, so you would think his location may be off a little bit, and it showed on that first home run ball.
And now he hits Gonzalez. And so a home run. And Gonzalez hit by a pitch, and frustration now for Dave Duncan. Around the Horn brought to you by Auto Tire. Duncan is in left, Edmonds in center, and Ankiel is in right. Ryan, Eckstein, Miles, and Pujols along the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. You can see Tony La Russa not happy one bit. The Cardinals, and don't think for a second they aren't scoreboard watching. They know Chicago is lost, and it's a chance to pull within 2 games and, as you mentioned, Al, distance yourself from Cincinnati. Make sure they're out of the race.
Yeah, I mean, you got a chance to knock out a team that's considered. And I talked to one of the Reds coaches, and he said, hey, you guys had your turn. Now it's our turn to make a run at it. So that's what they think. They're coming in here to leapfrog over the Cardinals.
Pete McCannon is the new manager for the Cincinnati Reds. And the last 2 interim skippers, Dave Miley in 03, Jerry Narron in 05, were named to the permanent job the following season. Both had losing records before being dismissed. And he replaced Jerry Narron back on July 1st. The Reds at that time were 31-51. 31-51. Now look at their record, 31-21.
Under the interim manager, Pete was their advanced scout. But he's been around a long time. He managed in the minor leagues. He was a long-time infielder at the big league level, and a good guy, and a completely different personality than Jerry Narron.
Asking for trouble here with Ken Griffey Jr., 2 balls and 1 strike. So same number of wins with 30 less losses. The Reds were 17 games out of first place when he took over.
It's almost as if no one wants to win this Central Division, and whoever plays well this last month has got a legitimate shot, if not the winner.
2-2.
So Anthony really struggles in innings 1 and 2 on 5 days. You know, every 5 days, and now you add a couple extra days rest. Now you see the Reds since August the 3rd have the best record in the National League, best winning percentage.
Don't see that very often, as Griffey chased a pitch but spoiled it on the outside corner. 2-2.
Good to see Ken healthy this year and having a season that he's capable of having. 1 home run from that 30 number again.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout of Ken Griffey Jr. for the first out.
Set up inside, and it's outside.
Here is Brandon Phillips, who made a terrific defensive play the other night, one of the best in all of baseball this entire season.
He's very, very good defensively, but look at the offensive numbers now. And he's got a chance, legitimate shot, to be a 30-30 man. He's 1 home run away from tying Joe Morgan for the franchise record at second base for home runs.
Nice pick by Molina. And you mentioned 30-30. He said that his goal at the beginning of the season was to go 20-20. So he needs 4 home runs and 5 steals to reach 30-30.
How far in front this ball bounces out there, and a nice pick by Molina with the runner on.
1-0 pitch, up and in, 2 balls, no strikes. Only Barry Larkin and Eric Davis, 2 terrific players for Cincinnati, have reached 30-30 for their organization. And ironically enough, Phillips' favorite player growing up was Barry Larkin.
Dave Duncan out to talk.
I don't know if you heard our conversation in the pregame show, but with Tony, we talked about what the rotation may look like in the month of September. Sonic pitch count at 18 for Reyes. And by all accounts, it looks like the Cardinals would go to a 6-man rotation. They have Looper, first-time in the starting rotation for an entire year. Same for Wainwright at this level. And then you're getting Mulder back, so you would at least allow yourself, those guys, to get some rest in September with no days off. The only problem with that is that you don't have Wainwright going every 5th day. And I asked Tony about it. He said, look, he's going to need rest that final month. This has been a lot on him and a lot on Looper.
Yeah, a lot of times what happens, and especially these guys are, I mean, they pitched twice as much this year than they have in last year coming out of the bullpen. And remember, you would have normal scheduled off days in September. Those we lost to makeup games. So it makes sense to give extended rest. My only concern is, do you have 6 legitimate chances to throw a starter out there that you have a chance to win?
And Mulder makes his final rehab start tonight. That's at Memphis. And then the Cardinals, who have said they don't want to put any pressure on him to come back and feel like he's got to be here. But obviously you're in a pennant race, and he could be a difference maker if healthy.
And I'm sure he will want to be here and get the ball at this level.
2-2 is hit down the right field line, and that is slicing fair. Off the wall. And Gonzalez is on his way to third. Relay is not cut off by Pujols and not in time, and it's 2-0 as Gonzalez scores here in the first.
Did that ball even glance off of Pujols' inner leg, inside his leg?
Went right through his legs, it looked like.
Yeah, and I'm not sure he didn't graze him, because it looked like it altered. It hits that side board, and so he has to change his course, comes in firing on the run right between his legs, and it looked like it slowed down to where I think it caught part of his thigh or something. But Rick comes over here. It's going to be slicing away from him, coming off the bat of a right-handed batter. Comes up, fires a seed, and late.
Now it's done. So there is some thunder in this lineup when you talk about power numbers. Griffey 1 shy of 30. Phillips with 26. And Adam Dunn with 36 home runs this year. The one thing, though, about Adam Dunn, and we've talked about this in the past, not many sacrifice flies. Where's that pitch? 2 balls and no strikes.
Coming into this game, Anthony Reyes, either in the first or second inning, has allowed 45% of his total runs.
And in your opinion, is it a lack of concentration mentally, or does it just take him a while physically to find release points and get a groove?
Well, I wish Dave Duncan knew that question with Anthony Reyes, but to me, if you have struggle like that, it's more concentration.
Count of 2 balls, 1 strike on Dunn. Reaches for it, fouls it back.
The good news from Anthony's standpoint is frequently, and more than 50% of the time, he will only have 1 bad inning. So you hope that it's this first inning, and there are times where he is actually not allowed to hit after his 1 bad inning.
Count even, 2-2, and Dunn hits a seed out to center field. The hit parade continues against Reyes here in the first. 3-0 Cincinnati. It's 3 extra base hits in the first. He's also hit a man, and it's 3-0 Reds. Our Ford Keys takes a look at Anthony Reyes recently. First 11, 0-9. Last 7, 2-4. The ERA much better, and opponent's average much better at 2.03, although you wouldn't know it tonight. Todd Wellemeyer's already up and getting loose in the pen.
Yeah, glad we showed the Ford Key matchup, because you just can't afford to waste much time.
This guy has been a terrific pinch hitter for Cincinnati the last couple of seasons. Backup catcher Javier Valentin.
Now, Ross, who is their #1 catcher, is off the disabled list. He suffered a concussion after a collision at home plate with Mike Cameron. But Valentin is still getting the bulk of the playing time. You have the expanded rosters tomorrow, so Tony's going to have a quick hook. Something he doesn't want to have, but out of necessity, he may be forced to make that move quickly.
Outside, and it's 3-0. See, right now he's just not being aggressive one bit.
I don't know why. You know, Anthony, you really usually pitches 5 innings because he reaches his 100 pitch limit. Why you just don't go out there and attack the strike zone and just concentrate on throwing that fastball on both sides of the plate and making quality pitches and hitting your spots. Rarely he hits the spots, and then he throws that breaking ball, and it's like you're trying to trick people.
3-2 on Valentine, and the pitch count is already at 31 on the night. Outfield is straight away for Valentine. 3-0 Reds here in the first. The 3-2 pitch takes something off it, and a strikeout, is second in this inning. Possesses that great changeup, and there's 2 strikeouts. Here's Scott Hatteberg, the first baseman, hitting .308, 10 home runs and 46 RBIs. Ground ball hit to second. A wide throw by Miles. Reds strand a runner, but they pick up 3. Cardinals coming up in their half of the first. We're back, and it's 3-0 Cincinnati here in the bottom of the first at Busch Stadium. Glad to have you along with Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Start of a 7-game homestand for the Cardinals tonight. We highlight Albert Pujols in this lineup, and this year against the Reds, a home run, 5 RBIs, and a .433 average. Eckstein, Ankiel, and Pujols in the first. Edmonds, Duncan, Molina, Miles, Reyes, and Ryan. That gives you a little scout report on Tom Sheeran, drafted by Houston, 29th round, then released in '02. He's had Tommy John surgery. He was signed by the Reds. And last Saturday, he slept in the groundskeeper's trailer behind Slugger Field in Louisville, Kentucky. So there you go.
Well, he made his major league debut last Sunday, and a successful one after 12 years in the minor leagues. And 2 days later, he turned 30 years of age. So he's made 1 major league start at the big league level, 7 innings. He walked 2, struck out 2, gave up a 3-run home run, accounting for all the runs he gave up. And he came out leading 9-3, and his teammates gave him his first major league victory.
He is the oldest pitcher to make his major league debut at the Reds since Pat Scantlebury started against the Cardinals back in 1956 at the age of 38. The only blow against him in that other start was a 3-run home run by Dan Uggla.
Got a very good breaking ball, and he spots his fastball pretty much.
Line foul.
Saw the
real slow breaking ball too.
Well, he can throw one even slower than that. That was registered 68. He can throw it like 60 miles, just kind of get ahead breaking ball. Then he can vary the speeds on it a little bit.
Might be asking yourself, why was he sleeping in the groundskeeper's trailer? And he said he wanted to save a few bucks on rent for a few days, and he strikes out Eckstein. The defense behind Sheeran tonight. Around the horn, brought to you by Auto Tire. Dunn in left, Hamilton in center. Ken Griffey Jr. now is a fixture in right. Edwin Encarnacion over at third. Gonzalez at short, very good, slick fielder. Over at second, you have Brandon Phillips. At first, Hatteberg, and Valentine is behind the plate. Here's Rick Ankiel, and he takes a ball low and away.
On that graphic, that lefties were 0 for 10 against him.
Ankiel has said, it's been an adjustment here in the major league level, and he has got 4 home runs so far. It is one long index finger.
It doesn't.
I mean, that's long. And why wasn't that on the scouting report? I knew where he slept last week. What about the finger?
Which finger?
2-2. Two pitch. It's amazing what our crew will find these days during a ball game.
There's a natural response, but I'll hold it.
Oh, Al, you just let it rip. It's never stopped you before. Ankiel out to center field. Right in front of that Bud Light sign. Go ahead and pan out. Let's take a look at it. Bud Light. There it is. Pujols with 2 outs. Albert has been stuck on 30 for a little while, it seems like. And the pitch is taken for a ball outside. Albert Pujols hitting .319 with 30 jacks and 84 RBIs. The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Yes, Al?
No, Dan.
Okay. I was ready for you to bark out some type of words of wisdom, but you're keeping it to yourself.
You know, I just think Sharon's going to sit there and say, why didn't you guys call me up earlier? We'd be first place.
A little low, and that is ball 4 to Albert, so 4 straight. Two-out walk, and it brings in Jim Edmonds.
Jim made that great catch and kind of sprained his wrist when he hit the warning track at Houston. But could have played yesterday, but probably as precaution did not. Did end up pinch hitting in the 9th and flew out against Lidge.
2 outs, and the first to Jimmy is an off-speed pitch and a strike on the inside corner. Well, you got to be patient when you see that tantalizing curveball coming in. That is slow.
You know, and then you get about 20-mile-an-hour variance between his fastball. And if you have the ability to spot it on both sides of the plate.
Edmonds rips it fair. Pujols around second. Ball into the corner, dug out by Griffey. He can't get to it. Pujols being waved in. He will score. And Edmonds will be tagged out. And his knee buckled, it looked like, at second base, trying to get back. Run will score as Edmonds is down and hurt. Pujols limping to home plate. Now limping in the dugout. The walking wounded right now, the Cardinals. Like his knee had buckled here going around second. Realized he had to get back to the bag, and that's when the injury may have happened there.
$1. Watching FSN Midwest, where Cardinals fans come first.
This State in Baseball History, brought to you by Schnucks. Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. become the first father and son to play in the same Major League lineup August 31st, 1990. And they each would go 1 for 4. Seattle would beat the Royals 5-2, and the Mariners had signed Ken Griffey Sr. after he was waived by the Reds. First pitch is popped up off the bat of Juan Encarnacion and out of play.
He's got a nice little hitting streak of 8 games going and 2 hits in each of his last 5 games. Hitting streak at .455.
pitch that's up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's only a 3-1 game now after Edmonds got the Cardinals on the scoreboard.
That is hit down the left field line and trouble. Duncan is over, leaps for it, won't get it. It's off the wall. And Encarnacion is digging for 3, and he may score. They're going to wave him in. It'll be an inside the park home run. And it's 4-1 Cincinnati. Inside the park home run for Edwin Encarnacion. And now Chris Duncan is limping.
Well, Chris has been playing with a undisclosed leg injury. And a long run into the corner, he jumps for it, and it goes off his glove, but he crashes hard into the wall. Watch the contact, and it took him a while. You know, he hits the wall hard, and the side of his face. Then it got away from him. Since it was so far in the corner, Edmonds really, you know, sort of tracked over towards left. But Encarnacion thinks he's hit a home run. Now you can see that it gets away from the left fielder, and once it went right along the outfield fence, it was easy for him to circle the bases.
So it's 4-1 Reds. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike on Sheeran. That kind of play just sums up the season for Anthony Reyes, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Now 3-1 count on his counterpart.
That's the first inside the park home run for Cincinnati since 2006, and now the pitcher is walked. And some more boos here at Busch Stadium. Cardinal history, the last opponent to hit an inside the park home run against the Cardinals, Ken Griffey Jr. back in 2001. That was at Cincinnati. Well, first time through this lineup, 2 home runs, pair of doubles, a walk, and he hit a man, and that could be it for Anthony Reyes.
41 pitches.
Roster's expanding. More protection in the bullpen coming up, and Tony La Russa not wasting any time. That's going to be it. Cincinnati on top of St. Louis 4-1. That's a look at Andy Murray, the Blues head coach, and to his right, left of the screen, that is Keith Tkachuk, who just got up, and that's Brad Shaw, who's a Blues assistant coach. And we have 40 games on FSN this winter, and our first game will be October 4th with the St. Louis Blues back in action, and big things expected from them this winter. Call to the bullpen is brought to you by Chevrolet, and this is Todd Wellemeyer. And a few seconds ago, it was Josh Hamilton getting a quick scouting report from coaching staff, and Ken Griffey Jr. going over that report and a good look at his chin.
And probably talking with Brooke Jacoby, the hitting coach. I don't know if that's Brooke on the other side of the book or not, but Todd Wellemeyer kind of got rushed back to the big leagues after one rehab appearance. And he made one appearance. That was August 24th against the Cardinals, and he looked sharp in that 1 inning of work. He was very aggressive and throwing strikes.
Hamilton homered to start this game. We see that Reyes goes an inning, pitches into the second, gives up 4 hits, 2 home runs, 2 doubles, hit a man, walked a man, and Tony said he'd like to stay with a 6-man rotation. Double play. Nicely done by Pujols. 3-6-3, but after watching tonight, they have to question that.
And, you know, I mean, that's what I mean, Dan. You know, it's like in a perfect world, you got 6 guys who give you a shot to win every time out. Nifty little grab by Pujols. Throws on over. David waited until Albert got back to the bag, and that helps out. So the 4 runs are the only runs going to be charged against Reyes. But you know, you always kind of wondered, would Reyes job be in jeopardy? Would Kip Wells' job be in jeopardy? But the point being is that you also, the thought process of using why you were going to a 6-man rotation was beneficial. But if you don't feel like you're giving yourself a chance to win, why do it?
That officially closes the book on Reyes. Cardinals trailing 4-1. 2 outs here in the top of the second.
And could insert Wellemeyer, even though it wouldn't be fair to him because he's not stretched out after his elbow sprain.
Popped up. Molina gives it a look near the screen and out of play.
It wasn't necessarily fair when Wellemeyer first came to the ball club after he's released by Kansas City and been a reliever and inserted into the rotation. He adapted very well. He's been somewhat of a good luck charm as the Cardinals were 7-1 in games that Wellemeyer started.
The 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Pitch at 94 miles an hour, and Todd Wellemeyer was picked up when we were in Detroit. And at that time of the season, it looked like it was over. But here the Cardinals have a chance to pull within 2. Popped up again. Molina gives it a look. Almost the identical spot, the green seats.
Throw a couple zeros up there and let the Cardinal offense get on track. The only good thing knocking a starter out after 1+ innings is you got a lot of game left.
Count of 3 balls, 2 strikes. Popped up again.
Have to keep an eye on that little baby with the bottle. We'll see if it's walking by the time this game's over.
You're saying it's going to be a while, huh? Here at the old ballpark, Al. The beauty of baseball.
No clock.
No clock. And back to Wellemeyer. He knocks it down. He'll throw to Pools. And we've got the bottom of the second coming up. That crowd will make that youngster cry. Inside the park home run to make it 4-1 in favor of the Reds. Bank of America, the official bank of the St. Louis Cardinals. Visit us at bankofamerica.com. Here's Duncan to lead it off. I don't know if we ever mention it, but Rolen is officially on the disabled list, so Russell Brandon was expected to arrive at game time.
Sometime during the game. He was coming in from Philadelphia, the newest Cardinal.
Slowly hit. Duncan racing down the line, a base hit.
A lot of game left. We'll stay here.
The beauty of baseball.
Right. And this little swinging bunt, well placed. Encarnacion comes in on it and probably wisely just holds onto the ball and not throw it away. We're going to stick around. We just want to make sure we have enough time for you to root for Mizzou tomorrow, and I'm going to root for Illinois. I'll be the happy guy, and then we'll come here and we'll watch the Cardinals win another game.
That'll be fine with me. Downtown should be buzzing tomorrow. Mizzou, Illinois, and then what time's tomorrow night's game? 6:15.
6:15.
6:15 here at the ballpark. The Reds and the Cardinals in game 2.
Football game will be over, and so I'll be celebrating. You'll be, you know.
Oh, I'll say this. Your team has a lot of athletes, which may surprise some folks. They're young players, but Ron Zook has done a terrific job recruiting some of the top athletes in the country. As far as my team, Missouri Tigers, they have one of the most prolific offenses in college football, and they've got a chance to win the Big 12 North.
Right, and so it's fun for them to do battle and get off to a good start, and we wish them both luck.
1 ball, 1 strike on Molina. floats in there for a ball outside, 2-1. I think it's great that they are playing again, doing it at the Dome, so fans this region don't have to drive too far to see it. And the basketball game has always been one of the best events in town, right around Christmas. And Molina hits it out to deep left field, and this ball is out of here. Into the bullpen it goes. Yadier with a 2-run shot, and it's 4-3.
Yadier has raised his batting average better than 25 points this month, and he's shown a lot of power. For a guy with 5 home runs, 4 of them have come this month, as he has driven in quite a few runs. He has 32 on the season, and he's got about half of them in the month of August. So this is a game right now, 4-3.
You get the feeling it's going to be one of those wild nights here at Busch Stadium.
Well, and you know what? That's the way it should be. If you fall behind, and you talk to people in the Reds, they said if you can't beat us 2 out of 3 in this series, you don't deserve to be considered a contender. Cardinals have been playing good baseball at home, and we're right back in this
one. 0-2 breaking ball to Aaron Miles is pulled foul. And the most improved batting average as far as looking at the difference between 06 and 07, and you see Yadier Molina right there at the top of the list. You knew he was better than a 216 hitter.
Sure. You know, saw Ramirez, Hanley Ramirez, and Edgar.
And I'm sure
Renteria up there, you know, guys that hit 290 are now in the 330s, but 216, we knew he was better than that, and it took a while for that carryover. He had more hits than anybody in the playoffs last year for the Cardinals.
He was very good in the spring too. There's a 9-iron that flukes in for a base hit. How about a double for Miles? He had to go down and get it. How did he hit that thing?
Well, let's see where this pitch is. Got that big breaking ball, and way out in front, just hooked it. Being a left-handed hitter and a low ball hitter helped. And just well placed, just a matter of inches inside the right field foul line, and he is out there in scoring position. Remember, nobody out. Wellemeyer has a chance to help himself.
A bunting situation here for Todd Wellemeyer. Nobody out, stabs at it, pops it up, but into the green seats again. Those people are getting their money's worth down there. That's the 4th foul ball that's come in their territory.
Sean Wesley looking on. Oh, I thought Sean knew some people get better tickets than that. Three sack bunts this season.
That's a good bunt back to the pitcher. But the only play is to go to first, and they get Wellemeyer by a step.
Bunted a little bit too hard, and Miles was lucky he didn't get trapped off.
A ticket update: if you're looking for great seats for this weekend's Reds game or Labor Day against the Pirates, check out the Prime Seat Club at stlcardinals.com. And of course, we have very good seats for the Pirates series coming up, especially the Thursday game. That's a day game before we head to Arizona. stlcardinals.com.
start of the 7-game homestand, and Cardinals need to make some ground on this one.
Here's Brendan Ryan with 1 out. That bunt went back to the pitcher, so runner could not advance. There's Edmonds talking with Hal McRae, Cardinals hitting coach on the left.
Cardinals have the best record in the Central Division. The majority of the remaining games are in the Central Division. They just have to continue that trend.
Check swing by Ryan, but he held up. See, this pitcher has had struggles with the slider. Curveball is very slow. They can make the adjustment on that. Sheeran, 1 ball, 1 strike on Brendan Ryan with a runner at second. Aaron Miles, chance to tie it up. Now, Tony has various options over at third base, but he is using Ryan primarily, and he doesn't feel that Miles should be playing over there. If Miles is going to be in the lineup, it should be at short or at second.
Unless it's Taguchi is his only remaining option.
Right.
Taguchi would play second, Miles would play third.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
That's why it shouldn't, as long as you get through this game. Brendan Ryan will be, he'll have the reinforcements where Russell Brandon will be here tomorrow. You know, at least Miguel Cairo will be added to the roster, and you just wonder how many more.
And a curveball that's pulled foul. That is a hanging breaking ball, and that hung up in the zone. Count of 2 balls, 2 strikes on Brendan Ryan, the 9th place hitter for the Cardinals tonight. Fouled back. Tried to go inside and jam him. Fought it off. '87 the high and the 67 the low as far as the pitch speed for Sheeran tonight. And that's in this at bat. The 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not.
Ryan had a base hit in yesterday's game, but first time he's really struggled a little bit in the Houston series, just 1 for 7. I wonder if that's just from the playing every day now, trying to wear down.
See if he gets the fastball here. 3-2, hit off the end of the bat, and a foul ball.
Takes his bat on a changeup.
Count of 3-2 on Brendan Ryan. Runner at second is Miles. Popped up, and that will find the seats. And right to Keith Tkachuk. But he decided not to go for it.
He missed it.
Now, Keith took a little heat during 2004, being a Boston Red Sox fan.
He's a Cardinal fan until his favorite team got into the World Series, and we can all understand that.
No, I don't think I can. You know what? Wear your red.
He did. He wore his red.
Out to deep left. And Miles heads back to second base. I do understand.
He wore his red.
His Red Sox red. He took a little heat.
Yeah, he did. And I don't know if it was fair.
2 outs, and our Geico quote from Sparky Anderson. I've changed my mind about the designated hitter. Instead of being bad, it stinks. Our Geico quote.
That's from a manager in both leagues. You know, when Tony La Russa first came here, he was, hair in the back of his neck would stand up when somebody would say, oh, anybody can manage the American League. You don't do anything there. You just got the DH. But it didn't take long before he realized that it is a better game in the National League. So many more decisions revolving that pitcher and when to remove him. And really, he's always been open and always loves the criticism or questioning. And, he loves that. But why don't you see if Keith is upset about somebody criticizing him?
All I said was he took a little heat. I didn't criticize him.
I stood up for him. You said you didn't understand.
I was just giving him trouble. Big difference, Al. Get it straight.
He looks in great shape.
Sure does.
I'm betting on him.
Good to see him back in St. Louis. Under Andy Murray, he thrived. 1-1 pitch to Eckstein with a runner at second. That's 3-1.
It's the hardest pitch of the night thrown by the starter, 90 miles an hour. Let's get even in this game.
3-2 now on the Cardinal leadoff man, David Eckstein. Struck out back in the first.
Called a balk. He went to his mouth. He went to the mouth when he was on the. So it's a ball.
And that's ball 4.
Ball 4. He was.
Go and explain that, Al.
Well, he was walking back up the hill and he went to his mouth. And you have to be off the dirt surface, the mound, if you're going to go to your mount. So watch when he goes up the mound. He steps up there and
wow.
And he was very, very close. He might have been straddling that 30-year-old rookie. You don't say a word.
Breaking ball to Rick Ankiel for a strike.
So it was ball 4. Charged for the ball going.
So 2 walks handed out by the right-hander. Runners at first and second for Ankiel. 4-3 Cincinnati with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Rick fly to center his first time up. Ankiel pulls it to first, but Hatteberg is there. Beats Ankiel to the bag. The Cardinals strand 2, but pick up 2 with 1 swing of the bat. Molina with home run number 5, a 2-run shot, and it's 4-3. Griffey coming up.
We're watching FSN Midwest, where Cardinals fans come first.
One of the best conferences in the nation now has its own network, and you can see over 400 live events, including 39 football games, 140 men's basketball games. The Big Ten Network is on the air. And to ensure that you get these games and the Big Ten Network, call 1-866-WANT-B10. Boy, what a great job Jim Hayes did on the pregame show tonight. He was outstanding.
Well, I was just clarifying some of the, one of his little comments that he made.
Oh, I did hear that comment.
Yeah.
Junior steps in.
Took a cheap shot at me. Payback's hell,
A 1-0 pitch to Junior. And I'm assuming it had something to do with Jim's flight that he took recently.
Yes, it did. That was great. Go up with the Blue Angels.
Wellemeyer took something off it. And it's 2 balls, 1 strike on Ken Griffey Jr. And he struck out his first time up.
He's on pace for 35 home runs and 103 RBIs already in his career. Junior has 8 30 home run seasons and 800 RBI seasons. Hitting .350 this month.
The 3-1 pitch. And Junior pops it up. Molina gives it a look.
Junior's a little stronger. He reached the second row beyond the green seats, but the ball bounced back to the green seat. So once again, they're getting their share of souvenirs.
Yes, they are.
How about Griffey and Edmonds, the 2 longest tenured players for each respective club?
And Junior draws a leadoff walk to start the 3rd. Both were picked up in 2000. Ken Griffey Jr. from Seattle. And of course, Edmonds came over from the Angels. And Ken Griffey Jr., the Reds played Seattle in interleague play. And there's a look at Torrey Holt, the outstanding wide receiver of the St. Louis Rams. He's in the green seats.
Oh yeah,
Torrey, big game Holt.
Wonder if he had that teaching his son there. I assume a little bit about hitting, but wonder if he had those green seats before they won the Governor's Cup.
Well, you win that Governor's Cup, and you're living large before the regular season opener. Steven Jackson didn't even play. I don't even know if Folger did. I didn't see it because you and I were flying back from Houston inside to Phillips. That's 1 ball, 1 strike. I was saying though before, Ken Griffey Jr. had hinted that if it would happen, he would be welcome to the idea of finishing his career with the Seattle Mariners. Whether or not he was saying that to appease the media, the great Northwest, I'm not so sure, but before he began his career, he had so many terrific seasons, was part of very good teams in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, really. Went to his hometown. He was drafted out of Moeller High School in Cincinnati.
Same high school that produced Pete Rose.
The 1-2 pitch. Grandfather, Junior's grandfather, grew up in Donora, Pennsylvania, where he played high school sports with Stan the Man, and then left his family when Ken Sr. was 2 years old. They moved out of Pennsylvania. And times have changed a little bit because Junior's first endorsement with Nike got him a grand total of $750 in merchandise and $750 in cash. Good play by David Eckstein. Double play. Second turn by the Cardinals tonight.
Go out there and after the walk, and he was trying to get Griffey out, but throw strikes and get Phillips to hit into a double play. Second one that Wellemeyer has induced here tonight. Once David had it, his momentum was going that way. Took a second to step on the bag, and he had a lot behind the throw to first.
Powell back by Dunn. 2 outs, nobody on.
Of his 36 home runs have been hit against right-handed pitchers. And vast majority of his RBIs, 73 of his 92 against righties.
Ooh, good pitch, just missed. The check swing was held up enough.
Chuck Merriweather said he didn't go around, but like you said, it looked like the location was good. There you see the differential of how dangerous he is against right-handed pitching. He will strike out a ton. But a lot of production in between.
And that's ball 4 to Dunn, so 2 walks in this inning. That's now 3 walks in the game, 2 by Todd Wellemeyer.
I just wonder how long he will be able to go. Remember, he only had 1 rehab stint, and that was a brief one. And then he pitched an inning before we went on the road trip.
Two outs and a runner at first.
It's only up to 25 pitches. You think he'd be able to double that.
And a grounder backhanded by Pujols. His step on the bag, and the Reds strand a runner. Coming up for the Cardinals, Pujols, Edmonds, and Duncan. It's 4-3 Cincinnati after 2.5. College Football Saturday returns to FSN this week with a quadruple header. First, Colorado State takes on Colorado, followed by 17th ranked UCLA battling Stanford. Then North Texas looks to upset 8th ranked Oklahoma. And finally, Idaho takes on number 1 ranked USC. It all begins with the College Football Saturday kickoff show presented by Kyocera at 10:30 Central right here on FSN. So Albert Pujols leads it off. 4-3 Cincinnati as we move to the bottom of the 3rd. Cardinals have stranded 2 in this ball game. Pujols walked and scored on the double by Edmonds. You could see when he was running, he was hurting. Edmonds was hurting. Duncan is hurting. Molina is hurting. Everybody is.
Well, this time of year, it's hard not to have be dinged up and have little nagging injuries, but you got to play a little smart so you can stay in that lineup. A lot easier when you have something on the line to find the wherewithal to be in the lineup.
1-2 the count on Pujols. He was walked on 4 straight his first time up. You can email us here in the booth at foxsports.com, the keyword Cardinals booth. Foxsports.com on MSN, the keyword Cardinals booth. 1-2 pitch. On the outside corner, and Pujols strikes out.
I think Albert thought that was wide and off the plate. Slow breaking ball, and it looked like it was a ball.
Edmonds with the RBI double to right. And looks at a pitch low and outside. Not sure what he did, though, when he tried to stop and then continue on, moving from second to third.
And we thought it was his knee that might have buckled. I'm not sure if they weren't looking at his ankle.
Hatteberg to the pitcher covering first, and there's 2 outs. It's about diamonds. It's about gold. It's all about the Cardinals and their brand new 2007 Cardinals yearbook, featuring 168 pages packed with a fascinating history of the jewelry and trophies won by baseball's best teams, along with action photos and studio portraits of all the 2007 Cardinals. Order your copy today, 345-9000. Ball 1 to Duncan. Infield hit his first time up. The 1-0 pitch. Cardinals will have Schumacher up. Brad Thompson will be up. Tony was telling us in the pregame show, more than usual will be called up in September by the Cardinals. 2-1. See Cavazos. Two outs, nobody on, and a 2-1 pitch. On its way to Duncan. Breaking ball. Little high, and Molina's on deck. The Reds picked up 3 in the first. Cardinals got a run in the bottom half. Reds got 1 in the second. Cardinals picked up 2 thanks to Molina. Hit a 2-run homer, his 5th on the year. The 3-1 pitch. Strike 3-2. Doesn't throw very hard. That pitch at 86 miles an hour. 89 has been the high tonight. And the 3-2 pitch to Duncan. Fouled straight back. Boy, he's taking a rip.
Well, that was got a hanger there and just fouled it back. Tried to come out of his shoes on a off-speed pitch that was up. This is the kind of guy you got to take up the middle.
Grounded sharply to second. Brandon Phillips from the outfield grass. A low throw. And the Cardinals go 1, 2, 3 in their half of the third. 7, 8, and 9 in the order coming up for the Reds.
Survival.
This portion of Cardinals baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Kia Motors. Kia, the power to surprise. By Rico. Move your ideas with Rico dependability. And by Aflac. Ask about it at work. And away we go here in the top of the fourth. Hatteberg looks at a ball outside. Todd Wellemeyer in relief of Anthony Reyes. Reyes goes 1 inning. He pitched into the second, could not record an out. Reyes threw 41 pitches on the night. And that's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. "19 starts on the season for Anthony Reyes. And tonight is the first in which he did not throw at least 4 innings. It's only his second start all season in which he has lasted less than 5 innings. It's amazing. He has allowed 63 runs, and now 51 of them have come in the first 3 innings of his starts, and that's walk number 3 tonight for Todd Wellemeyer. As you said, be interesting to see just how far he can go in this game.
And they've got, looks like Flores up. Hopefully he could get his 3rd double play in his 3rd inning of work. So he doesn't, he isn't stretched out very far, but it'd be nice to see, let him get through at least 3 innings.
Houston beat Chicago 6-1 earlier today. And Milwaukee is leading Pittsburgh. That's in the top of the 5th. It's 3-1 Brewers. Strike 1 on Encarnacion. Inside the park home run. The first against the Cardinals since 2001 when his current teammate Ken Griffey Jr. did it. And that was a game-winning inside the park home run done in the 11th inning off of Andy Bennis.
Now I vaguely remember that one. That was a long, hard-fought night.
2-1. Runner at first, nobody out as we play here in the top of the 4th. 4-3 Cincinnati. 2-2 pitch. How about another double play? 6-4. 3 double play. That is the third in 3 innings that Wellemeyer's pitched in. Cardinals crew is on a special time this week. Tune in Sunday at 9 a.m. and Wednesday at 2:30 for a new episode. Andy Bennis, Fredbird, and the U-Man. Big League Tips. They'll catch up with Cardinals catcher Gary Bennett. Cardinals crew is brought to you by Grant's Farm. Pitcher's best friend, the double play.
And now you got the pitcher up who walked his first time up, and that knocked Reyes out of the game, and there he is, relatively easy inning.
Pujols has got it. Molina leads it off when we come back here to Busch Stadium. And it was Molina back in the second that pulled the Cardinals to within 1 with his 5th home run. A 2-run shot leads it off next. Hey, well, you have the chance to meet Adam Wainwright or Yadier Molina. Plan on visiting Amini's Home Rugs and Game Room located in the Chesterfield Valley on Saturday, September 1st. That's tomorrow at 10:30. And the first 450 people will be given the opportunity to meet one of the 2 stars from the '06 World Championship team. That is Amini's Home Rugs and Game Room. And speaking of the aforementioned Molina, here he is with the Cardinals trailing by the score of 4-3. Bottom of the 4th. Yadier with a home run number 5 back in the second. And he hits it out of play to start the Cardinals half of this inning.
2-run shot to get the Cardinals within 1 run. And Miles got a double, and he was out there at second base with nobody out, but couldn't advance.
Got to give the Cardinals grounds crew a lot of credit. They have kept this field in magnificent shape. They're one of the hottest Augusts we have had recently. It was blistering hot here in St. Louis. Bill Finley and his crew
do a great job, but we probably have to ask Bill the difference of this Busch Stadium compared to the other one, because with the sculptured top ring made it very difficult to grow grass.
That's a base hit into right. Molina 2 for 2. Pujols was saying the other night that's a perfect example of why his hitting has improved. He's going to the opposite field. He had a great postseason, very good spring training, and it's carried over here to the regular season.
Well, it's hitting the ball where it's pitched, and instead of just constantly pulling the ball, that pitch outside, if you try to take that to left field, you're going to roll over on it, hit a little ground ball to the left side, and be out. But he went with that pitch, and it was outstanding hitting.
Now it's Miles. Remember, it was his bunt against Tim Hudson that propelled the Cardinals to a 5-run 5th against Hudson and the Braves.
Adam Wainwright is at the on-deck circle. So he would be there to hit for Wellemeyer, but no one warming up in the bullpen. Randy Flores did throw last inning, and not to say he wouldn't get up with 2 outs or somebody else.
0-2 on Miles. Doubled down the right field line first time up. Activity now already for Cincinnati. Sheeran had 69 pitches on the night.
I think there'd be a pretty good shot that it might be a lefty. I think they have 5 left-handers in their bullpen. Gosling warming up.
Bray, Guardado, Koulangas. Right down central, and Miles couldn't pull the trigger.
Mike Gosling.
Strikeout number 3 tonight for the Red starter. So Wainwright will pinch hit for Wellemeyer in a situation like this. A little short-handed. Rosters still have not been expanded. And I haven't seen Russell Branyan quite yet in that dugout. That doesn't mean that he's not tucked away somewhere in there.
I think it's one of these games where it's showing bunt, at least right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if pitch by pitch it might switch off. There you see Randy Flores. He'll come in, be the third pitcher employed.
Wainwright on the season with a home run, 5 RBIs, and hitting .271. And when pinch hitting this year, he's 1 for 3. This was the spot previously occupied for Jason Marquis. Wainwright will pitch tomorrow.
Yeah, and I believe it was his last time at home when he pinch hit. He got the base hit up the middle.
1 ball, 1 strike. Joel Pinheiro finally picked up a hit. I believe just his 3rd career hit. On the scoreboard here at the ballpark, a shot of Wainwright. And also a shot of Adam, arms raised high and winning the World Series. Closer last year. And he picks up another base hit into left. So 2 times as a pinch hitter, he has delivered.
Now he's staff ace and one of many good pinch hitters on the club. But here you don't burn a position player and you get a base hit and potential go-ahead run out there at perfect. Now it would be very surprising if now you burn a player to pinch run for.
Right. Didn't use the player to pinch hit, but
right.
You'll use him to pinch run. Ryan now with runners at first and second, 1 out. And Brendan flied out to left, first time up.
And I'm not sure you could find a faster pitcher
than Wainwright.
Yeah. Now he's a very good athlete.
It's a wide receiver in high school. Terrific football player. Also a very good basketball standout. State of Georgia. And obviously a very good baseball player.
And had golf on top.
2 balls and no strikes. If you saw the paper after the Atlanta series, but high praise from John Smoltz. I'm talking about Adam Wainwright. Same from Bobby Cox. Her comments praising Wainwright after he beat his former organization that drafted him. 2-1. Tying run at second base. Go ahead run over at first as we play here in the bottom of the 4th. Sheeran steps off. The 2-1 is lifted out to left. Adam Dunn over to make the catch. 2 outs with 2 runners on, and we're back to the top of the lineup in David Eckstein. Eckstein has struck out and walked.
Last 12 home games, David's hit over 400. Let's see if he can't drive in at least 1.
First pitch to the Cardinals shortstop. Foul ball.
hitting .230 with the runners in scoring position. His first year with the club, he had the highest average in the National League in that department.
We have a gentleman that emails us constantly asking us how many balls does a team go through in a game.
It used to be about 6 dozen, but now it's a lot more. Now you watch at the final out, as players have gotten much more fan friendly. The final out of an inning, they always seems like to throw the ball to the fans.
We need
now
to get
hitters demand how many, to take a ball out the minute it touches the dirt.
Garcia on this.
That would be called working.
Tim Garcia up in our booth, constantly feeding us information and statistics, and working feverishly to make sure we get that information on our telecast.
Keep on using that word that he's allergic to. Work.
There goes the baseball.
Good thing he's handsome.
Handsome, huh?
Talking about Albert?
You're talking about Garcia. I'm just trying to figure out
what, why, and what he does.
Just missed inside, 2-2.
I knew when they built Busch Stadium 2, a guy named Joe Arndt was walking by, and Jack Buck invited him in the booth every day.
He brought donuts.
And then he brought donuts, yeah.
Slowly hit, Eckstein hustling, and the throw is wide, and he is out. And somehow Hatteberg kept his foot on the bag. 4-3 Cincinnati. Pitcher in for the Cardinals. It's Randy Flores in this 4-3 game as we move to the top of the 5th. Good work by Todd Wellemeyer. He got 3 double plays to help him out. In relief of tonight's starter Anthony Reyes. Flores, 58th appearance. Our call to the bullpen brought to you by Chevrolet. A young Cardinal fan enjoying baseball tonight. Perfect night for it. We are packed here at Busch Stadium.
I think that was the baby that was
getting the bottle.
Getting the bottle earlier.
What are you saying then, Al, about the pace of this game? Saying it's a little slow?
It's perfect.
The Aflac trivia question: who recorded the only win in the 1970 World Series for the Reds? And yesterday you were playing Alex Trebek. We got the answer first.
Clay Carroll, game 4 in relief. Clay Carroll pitched for both clubs. And I got a whole bunch of good Clay Carroll stories for you.
Usually your better ones are meant to be told off the air.
And you are exactly right. Hey, we got him right where we want him. We got in the bullpen. Cardinal bullpen has a record of 24-8. There's Kleiner.
1970 World Series was Baltimore and Cincinnati. Orioles had 108 wins that season.
Pedro Barfone, Clay Carroll.
Hit out of play by Josh Hamilton. Top of the lineup: Hamilton, Gonzalez, and Ken Griffey Jr.
Wayne Simpson was traded for Hal McRae. Simpson was a very promising young pitcher, starting pitcher.
Shallow left field, and Duncan there for the catch. Hamilton now 1 for 3 with a home run, and here is the shortstop Gonzalez, was hit by a pitch, came around to score on a double, and has grounded back hard back to the pitcher. Mets leading Atlanta 4-1. That's in the bottom of the 8th. Key series for the Braves, and really the Mets too.
Delgado hit a 3-run home run for the Mets in that game.
Well, Gonzalez is considered one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball. Last season with the Red Sox, he committed a career low 7 errors.
He has 15 this year.
At a .985 fielding percentage, and that's coming on the heels of Renteria a couple of years ago really struggling at short for Boston. Gonzalez was member of the 2003 World Series champ Marlins.
Replaced Renteria with the Marlins.
He's been an all-star.
.270 batting average, 16 home runs, 53 RBIs.
On deck, a man that began his major league career at the age of 19. Ken Griffey Jr. One-two pitch. Gonzalez is swinging and a miss. Strikeout. And the first of the night for Randy Flores, or Hardy's hot pitch of the game from the Cardinals left-hander.
Gets this pitch out there and slider and gets him to swing over the top of it. Randy's actually been experimenting with a cutter and had some good success with it recently.
Griffey smokes one out to center field. Edmonds back at the wall, looks up, and it's off the top of the wall and gets away from him. Ken Griffey Jr. on his way to third. He'll be held up there with a triple. Off the very top of the wall, 400 feet away.
I think, Jim, if he had a chance to replay that ball, normally he plays shallow, thought he was going to have a chance to get back on it, and actually was a little too close to the wall. But if he would have went back another step or two and got his back up against the wall, I think he can catch this ball. But it was out over the plate, and then he was so close to the wall, so he pulls up, and the ball hit towards the base of it and then bounced right over his head. But the question was, and then he misplayed it when he went there. So the question was he close enough to the wall to where he turned around?
Boy, is there a sweeter swing in baseball than Junior's?
I'm not sure if that was the cutter that didn't cut.
Ball was hammered. Here's Brandon Phillips. Phillips with an RBI double, and is also grounded into a double play. 6-3 started by Eckstein, and a nice play, nifty double play back in the third. So triple for Ken Griffey Jr. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just make sure you do not allow that run to score. Keep it a 1-run deficit.
That's strike 2. Second time this season the Reds have had 2 triples in the same game. Did it back in early May against Colorado. Another pitch in the dirt. Molina's getting beat up back there. 2-2.
A pitcher has to have the confidence in his catcher to know that you can throw off-speed pitches in the dirt with a runner at third and know that your catcher's going to block it. And many times a guy like Molina with his ability will just encourage that. You don't want a hanger, so he said, hey, don't be afraid to bounce it. That's my job to block it, and Molina does a great job at it.
Two-two pitch.
Mark Berry with a nice play on the shoot tops. Been around a long time. Earned that honor of being on Jerry Naron and then now Pete McKinnon's staff.
A 2-2 pitch. Tap foul for Ken Griffey Jr. Extra base hit number 1,100 of his career. He's now in sole possession of 15th place on the extra base hit list, and that's his first triple since June of 2003.
Almost an indication of how this year he's been pretty much injury free.
And a slider in the dirt, blocked again by Molina. And Phillips will be tagged out. And that's it. Coming up for the Cardinals. Ankiel, Pujols, and Edmonds. 1-run Cincinnati lead. 4-3 Cincinnati. Ankiel leads it off.
Don't you think this one-run deficit has been gone long enough?
Oh yeah. Hanging breaking ball, and it's tap foul by Ankiel. This might be the inning they get to him.
You know, that get ahead breaking ball, you'd be amazed that so many times how rare it's really put into play.
There's a line shot up the middle. Leadoff base hit for Ankiel. It's a nice easy swing.
Well, that's been the nice thing about it. You know, he's really, his plate coverage, his ability to hit breaking balls, that's what's been surprising to me. And I think that, you know, good fastballs you're going to be able to throw by him. And I think a lot of the top-notch pitchers he's going to have trouble with. But you get the middle of the road is where I think he's going to do a lot of damage.
Strike to Pujols. He was called out on strikes. Back in the third on a pitch that looked to be outside, and then walked on 4 straight his first time up and came around to score. Albert pops it up.
There is such a thing as throwing a pitch that is such a bad hanger that it becomes a good pitch for you. You know, if this pitch is a couple inches lower, you've got a 2-run home run, but it's just high enough to where he pops it up, and total frustration, as you can see from Albert Pujols. How about that? Taking a pitching after that, he's out of the game with a 4 1/3.
Yeah, you don't let him get the final 2 outs and have a chance to win the game possibly. Doesn't get 5 innings. It's 4-3. Cardinal fans, Monday, September 3rd is Albert Pujols Pennant Day, presented by the Pasta House, and all kids ages 15 and under receive a pennant featuring Cardinals first baseman Albert Pujols and a coupon to the Pasta House. For tickets, go to stlcardinals.com and click on the Prime Seat Club. The Pasta House Pennant Day coming up. I thought they would give him at least a chance to get through 5, but that's not the case. After that hanging breaking ball, they'd seen enough. Minnesota leading Kansas City. Scott Baker is perfect through 7.
Kansas City won the first game 9-4, so we'll report the finals. Nothing that happens, you know, partial scores, those American League games. John Kutlangas just recalled on Wednesday This guy started the season with the Reds. He was 4-1 with an ERA under 4 with 57 appearances. He was optioned out on August the 7th. He was leading all National League, ranked third in the National League in appearances, led all National League rookies in appearances. Had a bad first game at Louisville, and he ended up 2-0. His ERA was 6.35 in 9 appearances, but it was 2.38 in his last 8 appearances.
Look at the bullpen comparison. The Reds are at 500, 22-22. And the Cardinals bullpen has been spectacular at times this year, especially their closer Isringhausen, and the Cardinals record out of their bullpen is 24-8.
Right.
And really, Al, when you look at this season, there have been a lot of downs about this team, but yet they have a chance to win the division. And something that has kept them there has been this bullpen.
How about tonight? Mulder throws 65 pitches, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, a walk and 4 strikeouts, but 5 innings.
3-1.
It really doesn't matter what a guy like Mulder really does on his rehab, as long as he comes back and says, I'm healthy. You get your work in. You don't really judge the hits allowed or the earned runs. It's just more of how do you feel afterwards.
Check on Ankiel over at first. Saw an odd play earlier tonight when the Red starter went to his mouth to lick his fingers to get ready to make the next pitch. Did not do that off the mound. And so many times you'll see a pitcher on a hot night go to the back of his neck, which is wet, his hair, his hat. But yet if he goes to his mouth, in that situation, it's called a ball. It's one of those odd things in baseball.
If you're on the mound and watch this pitch gets away and breaking ball, it doesn't really break, and it's ball 4 to Edmonds. So with 1 out, they have the tying run out in scoring position. He just vacated the bag. Ankiel had a word with Jose Oquendo, and then Edmonds at first. So Duncan will have a shot.
Infield hit his first time up. He's also grounded out to second. The Cardinals again with another opportunity. They have stranded 4 in this ball game. Kulongas steps off, and we are only in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch to Chris. A foul tip.
Sweeping breaking ball that Chris will swing and miss it a lot, but if he leaves it in the middle part of the plate, when you can see Chris jump all over it.
Duncan out to left center field. It's well hit. Dunn is back and makes the catch on the track.
3 times tonight we've had a runner at second base with a fly ball out to left field, and not 1 time did the runner at second advance. I think Oquendo talking right now. It was a line drive, but you know, you get out there halfway, but you can watch and see that it's going to be caught. So, you know, take your secondary lead. Now, see, it's going to be caught. Go back to the bag a lot sooner and tag, because you got a right-handed throwing outfielder going back towards the wall, his back to the infield, and Rick can run. He should have been able to advance on that one.
Molina 2 for 2 with a homer. Takes a strike. Foul and out of play. In 2004, Kulongas was converted from an outfield spot to what we see now as a pitcher. an outfielder at South Carolina. Helped the Gamecocks reach the '03 College World Series. Struggled in the minor leagues for a little bit with the bat and moved to the mound, and here he is in the major leagues.
And didn't have all that wear and tear on his arm.
Ball scoots away and the runners will advance.
That's helpful.
So you just hear about it time and again how many guys get to the major leagues as a pitcher and not with a ton of experience on the mound.
Just stabbing at that ball and really just blocked it, and that could be very costly. It's always a wild pitch because the ball hit the dirt, but with better technique, better effort, you know, that should be really a pass ball in my book.
Base hit could put the Cardinals on top. Make for a real big night for Molina. But isn't that amazing? You hear about guys that were catchers. They possess cannons for arms. Then they move to the mound. Or you hear about outfielders that can't hit. Shortstops that are great athletes. They can't hit, but they can throw. And they wind up being on the mound.
You know, there's, ball bounced the dirt. This time it goes off the chest protector and stays in front of him. But, you know, Dan, that's been going on for lifetimes. And watch the ball here. Now that's much better form.
It's very good.
You know, and there's, you know, I remember like Ken Brett when he was drafted, half the major league clubs wanted him as a pitcher, the other half wanted him as an outfielder. And several times you'll say, well, if a guy can't make it on the mound, we can try and train him to be a pitcher.
Count of 2-2. Yadier with his home run to left, a 2-run shot, and a base hit to right. Opposite field single. Two. Molina hits it to short. Nicely done by Gonzalez. Cardinals strand 2. They have stranded 6 in this game. We head to the 6th. Cincinnati on top by 1.
SN Midwest, where Cardinals fans come first.
So look at the home run hit by Yadier Molina. Pitch down and in, and this is the pitch that was outside, serving it to right. And let's go pitch by pitch in the last at bat to Molina. Breaking ball to start it with a strike. Next pitch, a fastball low and in that he popped away. Slider that scooted away from Valentin in the dirt. That pitch made it 2-2, and this one a ground out to the shortstop Gonzalez. Back to live action, and this is Flores facing Adam Dunn. So first time they were able to get Molina tonight. Strike on the outside corner.
And he had a couple strikeouts. He made a careless pitch to Griffey, who hit a triple off the center field wall, but was stranded at third.
Dunn is on his way to being the first Red in franchise history to hit 40 or more home runs in 4 consecutive seasons. Had 46 2 years ago, 40 last season, and 36 this year.
And he's got to get his left-hand hitters straightened out. He's had trouble retiring them of late.
Some believe that Dunn is playing in his final month wearing this uniform. They have 2 prospects that are highly touted that could take his spot. He's due a lot of money next year. With the strikeouts comes home runs.
Not the greatest outfielder either. I mean, he's adequate out there because of his power production, but.
And that's ball 4. So leadoff walk to start the 6th from Flores. Rams fans can get a new perspective on the team during our Rams Weekly All Access show, debuting this Sunday on FSM Midwest. Watch Rams players get ready for the game and find out how they relax away from the field. Rams Weekly All Access premieres Sunday at 10 on FSN Midwest. Adam Carricker, the #1 draft pick from Nebraska, part of that program. Tour of Leroy Glover's house, a peek at the Rams cheerleaders calendar. Rams Weekly, Sunday at 10. Valentine is struck out and grounded out. Flores in the second inning of work. The 1-0 pitch. Line foul. One ball, one strike. Reds picked up 3 in the first, another in the second. Never trailed in this game. Off the glove of Brendan Ryan, hit to short, and there they get the out. Able to get done, and the lead runner at second. We're talking about all the different guys that are banged up. Brendan Ryan is another one.
He fouled the ball off his shin the other day in the Houston series. That actually hit on the heel of his glove, deflected towards Eckstein, and they get the lead runner. In a reactionary position, he reached out to his left and actually overextended the glove, and lucky that didn't catch him flush on the wrist.
Here's Hatteberg. The Reds have hit into 3 double plays tonight. All when Todd Wellemeyer was on the mound. An 0-1 pitch.
It's okay if we give Cincinnati the victory over Indianapolis tonight. They're leading 14-0 in the fourth quarter, and then the Cardinals win this one. So the city of Cincinnati could
have
feel
a split.
happy, be having a split.
What are some of these pitches? It's Percival getting loose.
Michael Strahan ended his holdout.
Count of 3 balls and a strike.
Boy, the Yankees were beaten 9-1 by Tampa Bay, and Baltimore is beating Boston 9-4. It is in the 7th.
Out to center, Jim Edmonds. 2 outs. Some great races in baseball when you think about over the American League. New York could pull to within 4 and make up 4 games in 4 days. Cleveland leads Detroit by 4.5. Seattle 5.5 back of LA. But here in the National League, Phillies 2 games out. Atlanta 4.5 back of New York. Talked about the Central. Milwaukee, as we speak, 2 games out. Cardinals 2.5. Could be 2 before the night is through. Arizona leads San Diego by a game. LA is 4 back. Colorado is 6.
And sometimes you have those big head-to-head matchups like Milwaukee and Chicago, Yankees and Boston, and one team will make progress in that, but then they give it right back against a lesser foe. They, like you say, the Yankees go to, have Tampa Bay come to visit at Yankee Stadium, and then they get pounded 9-1. Give back some of that progress they made. You just got to keep on playing consistent, good baseball.
The 1-0 pitch. Boston and New York still have a series at Fenway Park. Cardinals still with games remaining with Chicago.
And we go to Milwaukee too in that final week.
A 2-0 pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike on Juan Encarnacion. Popped up. Eckstein going out. Back in and makes the catch. Miles and then the pitcher spot, and Ryan due up for the Cardinals.
During the Pontiac Summer Show.
Cardinal Baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try the new sirloin burger, 100% sirloin, your choice of cheese and onions, only at Jack in the Box. By your local St. Louis Chrysler Jeep dealers. And by U.S. Cellular, we connect with you. Beautiful night for baseball. Packed again here at Busch Stadium. 4-3, the Cardinals trail. And this is the switch hitting Aaron Miles. Juan Encarnacion is on deck. He'll pinch hit for Flores, and then we'll see Brendan Ryan. You never know what kind of email we're going to get. And we have a simple question asked to both you and I, Al. It's, what do you guys like better, nachos or hot dogs from the ballpark? And you know, we are in our final month just about, so. Oh my goodness. And that hits Encarnacion on deck.
And it might have got him right in the face.
Oh my goodness.
I did think it hit the helmet, or I heard some kind of a blow, but
wow, that is scary.
home plate umpire asked Joe Patini to get something, and looks like in the mouth or nose area.
See that he was bleeding. See it dripping.
Bringing a card out is precautionary, but I mean,
oh my goodness, that is scary.
Tony just waved off the card. They're not going to need that. Let's take a look at it here.
Very quiet here.
Foul ball, and he was at the on deck circle. Took his helmet off, so at least he knew that. But I heard a little tick, and you didn't know if it glanced off that. He's getting to his feet now, and that's a good sign. But he's obviously coming out of this game, I'm sure. Looks like the left side of his head. So just, you know, maybe right. I thought it might have hit the helmet and it kind of either brought it down or maybe got a glancing blow, but obviously there's a cut around that left eye.
They've got him square on the left cheek, right below his eye or right on his eye.
And you know, Aaron Miles feels terrible. Check swing and right. Oh, see him standing right there, almost like not really paying attention. You know, probably thinking of the bat, doing something, adjusting the bat in his hands, and they got to him immediately.
Even if he is paying attention, not
you don't have time to react.
Boy, it got quiet here at the ballpark.
Rightfully so.
No balls and 2 strikes on Aaron Miles. So Taguchi now the pinch hitter. You see that, you wonder why it doesn't even happen more. Well, that on deck man is vulnerable to that type of play. Yeah. And so are fans.
Just when you got a right-handed batter up there, the people on the first base side really have to pay attention on those check swings. lefty up there. People at third base got to pay attention. And just watching Taguchi, he's like 6 feet closer in the on-deck circle, and he almost had his back to home plate. You know, as he's preparing for his bat, kind of swinging, trying to get loose.
One and two the count, and Miles chops one off the plate, but foul. You got to think in the back of his mind, it's got to be tough to concentrate on his plate appearance.
Sure,
wondering about his teammate.
You know, I saw Kendo or somebody just kind of pat him on the rear end and say, hey, you know, it's an accident. Don't worry about it. Just get up there. But, you know, in the back of his mind, he's thinking about his teammate. Pitcher might feel somewhat responsible. Yeah, you just, everybody involved just kind of feels like, you know, just part of the game.
1 ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 6th on Miles. Another foul ball, and that one catches him. Still very quiet here at the ballpark. Breaking ball and a strike, and that's how we start the bottom of the 6th. Back to the injury of Juan Encarnacion. Another camera angle here. Oh,
that is scary, isn't it?
Sure is.
It's like part of a double switch.
Change coming up. New third baseman in, it looks like, and we'll tell you about those changes when we come back. The Cardinals with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, and they're trailing by the score of 4-3. Back with more in a moment.
Welcome back as we're playing here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 1 out, and Jeff Keppinger goes into play third. He'll be the leadoff hitter. Gary Majeski is in the 8th spot. He comes in for his 24th appearance. His second stint with the ball club, and bouncing back and forth between AAA. And that Keppinger has just been on fire. Was one of the leading hitters in the International League at the time of his promotion, and he's hitting almost 400 in the month of August. So Taguchi will pinch hit for Randy Flores, who went 2 innings of work.
Cardinals acquired Russell Branyan for a player to be named later, and that's the 3rd player they've done that type of trade this season. Mike Maroth, Joel Pinheiro, and now Branyan. The Tigers picked up Chris Lambert, former #1 pick back in 2004. There's Russell Branyan.
Flew in and arrived during the game from Philadelphia after the late afternoon trade.
And what we say, and there's another line shot.
Man. That got a lady in the front row in the head. Oh, he appears to be okay, but wow.
We got a towel for her.
And I think people ought to start paying attention as everybody's really looking. Cardinal players tossed a ball to the woman that was hit. But those guys are all concerned about their fans. There's a smart guy. Moved a little as far as he could get away from that on-deck circle and not be in the dugout.
Player to be named later. Usually with a scenario like that, Cardinals will submit a list of a handful of players for that club to choose from.
There's different ways to do it, but sometimes they'll submit a list. Sometimes it'll be, players on the 40-man roster. Other times it's said without. Sometimes it is determined by what the player does for your club as to how much you give up in return. Russell Branyan has some power. He can hit some long, majestic home runs. And he is a third baseman by trade.
Line drive, base hit. Griffey over to get it. Into the corner it goes. Taguchi will stop at second base with one out.
Cardinals have been able to get runners to second base. They just haven't been able to drive them in. And Griffey, it took a while for him to get this ball out of the cover, out of the corner, and got underneath that little ledge. You see, So had the play in front of him, so he knew he at least had two. He'll pick up Oquendo and determine, well, we'll keep you right there with one out. Another 0 for 7 today with runners in scoring position. See the season average. Brendan Ryan's had a couple shots. He's hit 2 fly balls to left, 2 of the 3 that have been to left field.
And he bunts it foul.
0 for his last 9, so he's trying to change something. But I think Tony is, we see this so much from Brendan Ryan, but I think what Tony wants to see is a guy that wants to drive the runner in instead of trying to pass it off to somebody else.
Runner at second is Taguchi. 4-3 Cincinnati.
Andy Guardado is warming up, the former closer.
Cardinals came into this game tonight pretty beat up. And that's up the middle. Backhanded though by Phillips. Gets up, no play. And it's runners at first and third with only 1 out.
Brandon Phillips keeps this a 1-run lead for the Reds by keeping that ball in the infield. And the infield single for Brendan Ryan, but without the range of the second baseman, and he's a good one. He saves the run by going up the middle, diving for it. Had no play at first base or third base, but he saves the Reds temporarily and keeps the lead on their side.
Opportunity here. You could squeeze with a guy like David Eckstein. Or do you let him swing away and try to drive in the run? A lot of times a pitcher will do that just to see if the batter will show what he is going to do.
And whether he breaks, on a suicide squeeze.
Pretty good range shown by Brandon Phillips on that play to save a run.
He's a very good fielder.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
That one
hit the brick
right in front of the owner's box. Bill DeWitt right there, and his family, his daughter, his wife, son-in-law, and David just said, "You want to sign me? You want to start negotiating?"
Man.
I mean, that ball whizzed right by Ankiel. He didn't have time to react. And it was lucky that wall was as high as it was.
3 of them in a span of about 8 to 10 minutes like that. That one hits Eckstein, and the bases will be loaded. It's a beat-up team getting more beat up tonight. Duncan on the sidewall. Pujols limping around the bases. Edmonds thought he hurt his ankle. And then the real nasty one, the foul ball off the face of Encarnacion. Well, they have all those lefties out there. Why not use one right here with Ankiel coming up? That's going to be it for Majeski. Bases loaded for the Cardinals in their half of the sixth. Only one out, and Ankiel coming up in a 4-3 Cincinnati lead. Former closer, and he was a good one for a long time. That's Eddie Guardado. No saves this season. This will be his 8th appearance. He was picked up for the stretch run last year. Then he had surgery. ERA this year of 15. He comes in to face Ankiel. Reds trying to hold on to this lead. It's 4-3.
Well, he had Tommy John surgery, and then he was going to be coming back about a month or so ago, but had back stiffness and trying to work his way back. But you're right, he was an outstanding closer in the American League. Minnesota, Seattle, and Cardinals have a great opportunity here with the bases loaded to tie the score, if not take the lead, with Ankiel. Lefty against lefty, and Tony's let him swing the bat several times against left-handed pitching. But not really overpowering.
First pitch to him. Outside. Ankiel has a base hit tonight. He's flying to center. And he's also grounded out to first. And what we have seen here in the first couple of weeks is that against lefties, Rick Ankiel has hit very well. 385. That home run was at Wrigley Field, and he hit it to the opposite field.
And he's kept that front shoulder in. You know, they make good pitches like that, they can get him. But there have been times when they've gotten the ball up a little bit, and he's hit the ball well.
Maybe the best story in baseball the first half was Josh Hamilton. Maybe the best story second half, Rick Ankiel.
And a lot of guys pulling for him, a lot of people pulling for him. And
Ankiel hits it in the air out to right center field. This is going to be trouble. This ball is gone. It's out of here. It's a grand slam. Out of here. Ankiel delivers with home run number 5. And the Cardinals have their first lead of the night. Another magical moment supplied by Rick Ankiel.
You throw something off speed and you get it in an area where he can handle it. He's got a chance to do what he just did. His 5th home run, his first grand slam. He's got 14 RBIs. He's got about a half dozen curtain calls. And you just have a feeling they got to the first row, but it's all they needed. And listen to this crowd. They were quiet a minute ago, but they're buzzing now.
Rick doesn't waste any time for those curtain calls. I love it. He comes right out to get it.
That's a breaking ball, but it just didn't get it far enough away, and he was able to hook it. Look at Jim Edmonds. Look at Tony La Russa.
And his magical season continues.
And Dan, you know, got a chance to get 2 games back. The first place Cubs, who lost earlier today. But you look for magical moments in a season that add up to postseason.
Awesome. I mean, it really is. It truly is one of the great stories in baseball this year.
Well, hadn't been done for 60 years. What he's done has only happened 12 times in Major League history. A guy get to the big leagues and hit a home run as a pitcher, and then later on come back and hit a home run as a position player. But he's young enough to where he's got a chance to be one of the all-time greats in that department.
Pujols pops it up near the line, and Hatteberg comes up with it. Rick Ankiel, 5th home run, and now with 14 RBIs.
The bullpen reacts as the right field bleachers are elated.
Started our night talking about the magic back at Busch as the Cardinals have played great baseball here at home as of late.
Talk about, you know, a guy hits his first home run as a pitcher and then comes back later and hits a home run as a position player. The last before Rick Ankiel was Clint Hartung. That was April 15th back in 1947. Before him, Babe Ruth, July 11th, 1914.
You know what? It's a rare bit of emotion we just saw there from Ankiel. He is as cool as they come. Not too high, not too low for everything that he's been through to get to this point. There he is smiling on the bench. And he welcomes those curtain calls, and why not? For everything he's been through, I love it.
And a lot of this game left, but Rick does something where he did. Team battling back after giving up 3 in the first inning. Got to close it out.
Adam Dunn is there, and the Cardinals are through, but not before Rick Ankiel hits a grand slam. This place is buzzing here at Busch. The grand slam by Ankiel, and it's 7-4. Rick Ankiel with a grand slam, and for Ankiel, that's his 5th home run this season here in the major leagues.
Got the slider that was out away from him, but not far enough. And look at the bench in triumph. And now he takes his position to the fans, who acknowledge him with a standing ovation after the curtain call. Five home runs, 14 RBIs, and over 320. Franklin will come in here in the 56th game, 4-2, ERA under 2, and he has been outstanding. He finished last season, started with Philadelphia, but finished last season with Cincinnati.
That inning, you look back at it, the low and the fact that everybody was so quiet after Encarnacion had been hit by the foul ball, and then the excitement and the explosion by this crowd on the grand slam by Rick Ankiel. Right center field and a base hit.
This kid's been on fire.
Sure has.
Coppinger, who was one of the top hitters in the International League at the time of his recall, but he batting 400 now in August. Line drive out in the first row, so knew he hit it pretty good, but he wasn't sure until he saw the signal, and now he can just post around the bases. At the very least, you know it was going to tie the game, and he got a whole lot more.
Well, you've been around baseball for a long time. I mean, I'm sure you look at this as being truly one of the great stories you've been around.
Absolutely. You know, he was touted as one of the best pitching prospects when he came up. Going into that postseason in 2000, he was the last 6 weeks he was the best Cardinal starter. Started game 1, and yeah, there was a game in Cincinnati there he had a little trouble with his control and a little meltdown, but he never thought it was going to be like that.
That's trouble into right field, but Ankiel is there. Good jump, fires back to first and shows off the arm. At that point, it's not necessary to make that throw, but I don't mind seeing it. I'm sure 40,000 plus, they don't mind seeing it either.
You know, you kind of like you're on a little high, and so you know everything you're doing is going right. So once Show it all. Show all your talents.
Here's Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop. Hit by pitch, scored back in the first, grounded back to Todd Wellemeyer in the second, and struck out in the fifth. Easy play for Edmonds. 2 outs. Ryan Franklin has been solid all season long.
I had a talk with Tommy Hume, the longtime Reds bullpen coach, and I said, what did you see from Franklin last year? He said, I saw everything that I liked. He said, I voted to have him come back, but they chose that they wanted to go in another direction. And he said, we have desperately missed him. And he said, you know, he just thought he had great stuff.
Boy, Griffey trying to bunt his way on, and with one swing of the bat, he could pull Cincinnati within a run.
Well, that's where you, as a pitcher, you say thank you.
Yeah, you're closing in on 600 home runs when you talk about Ken Griffey Jr.
Hit number 500 at the old ballpark, and he is 8 home runs shy of 600.
The shift is on for Jr. with 2 outs. The 0-1. Ground ball, backhanded, only play to go to first, and that's what they do. Griffey retired, and it's time to stretch in game 1 of this 3-game series from Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Okay, class.
James McPherson is tonight's merchandise winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run in the 7th, James McPherson qualifies for the Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer.
Another lefty coming out of the Reds bullpen, Mike Stanton. He's been around a long time, and 59 appearances, 60th appearance this year, but I think he's second on the all-time appearance list. As Major League career leaders produced 12 seasons of a league, now 13 seasons of 60.
Or more appearances. Well, what happens when sports and science collide? You're going to find out September 30th at 9, only on FSN, the premiere of Sports Science.
Now, jerseys come that pretty pink. It's not somebody not knowing how to wash their clothes. And you were a bachelor. Did you ever do that?
I still do.
Turn your underwear pink, huh?
Doesn't change now, I can tell you that.
You mean you have to do your laundry?
Yes. I think my wife has more pressing needs than to worry about.
I know who wears the
pink
pants
underwear.
in your family. Of course, you bought it pink, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Just check.
Sure, June is appreciative of the fact that she's still doing her laundry.
I didn't say she was doing it.
Duncan hits it into center to Josh Hamilton. Well, you said who wears the pants in the family, so I'm assuming that you're telling me that June does your laundry. That's what you were implying, I think, Al.
No, we have somebody else.
Emailers out there, go ahead and back us up
Somebody
here.
else does it.
Oh, somebody else does it. Now that explains it. Mario Mocha, the athletic director from Southern Illinois, is here tonight, enjoying Cardinal baseball. Note here from Eric Morrison of Sunvolt Financial. He is a huge Al Raboski fan. I'm sure he enjoys the story about your underwear, Al.
It was yours, Dan. Stanton is second on the all-time list. He's chasing Jesse Orozco, who's made 1,252 appearances. Mike will get somewhere about 100 appearances less than that at the end of the season.
How does his arm not fall off? Encarnacion with a left eye injury. We hear from the Cardinals medical team, and he has been taken to a local hospital. Left eye injury is what they're calling it right now. Ground ball hit to third. Molina retired for out number 2. Attention high school students and guidance counselors. The Cardinals are hosting the 3rd annual career day. That'll be Thursday, September 6th against Pittsburgh prior to the Cardinals-Pirates day game. We'll have a program featuring Cardinals executives and front office personnel giving tips and details on careers in sports. Call the Cardinals at 345-9500 for ticket information. We've got a lot of tickets remaining for that day game, so we hope to see you here.
Yeah. Milwaukee holds on, and they win 3-2 at home against the Pirates. So they pick up a full game. They are now 1.5 games back of Chicago, who lost this afternoon to Houston. And the Cardinals with a victory they'll be 2 games back.
1-0 pitch to Miles, taken low. I don't know if you heard our pregame show, but Ken Rosenthal, the FSN insider, was part of our program, and he said if the Brewers don't finish at 500, Ned Yost would be in serious trouble. And Yost was trying to point it out to everybody, including his young team, when they were up by 10.5 games in front of St. Louis. It's a long season.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, back then, you just wish someone would put pressure on them and see how they would handle that pressure. Now, getting Ben Sheets back, they got a great performance from him. They get a good performance from their starter tonight.
Fought off by Miles into shallow right center field, and it drops in for a hit.
Capuano and Suppan. Sheets was on while he was on the DL. Their veteran starters really struggled and weren't winning ball games. They went something like 24 starts without a victory.
Well, here you have Franklin hitting for himself, so the Cardinals will send him back out there for the 8th, even though they could go to Springer in that spot. And of course, you have Isringhausen set to go in the 9th.
Boy.
Swing and a miss, and a throw down to second, and the ball scoops away, and a stolen base for Miles.
Miles had a great jump on Stanton, and he steals his first base of the year. He just takes off. Now, Ballington doesn't throw very well at all, but he got the good jump off the pitcher, and a combination of not a particularly outstanding thrower.
Another sellout tonight, 43,564.
Only the 44th steal by the Cards this year.
0-1 pitch to Franklin. Waves at it. I mentioned my buddy from Sunvold the Financial. I'm talking about John Sunvold, my broadcast partner for Missouri basketball, the great Missouri Tiger, and Mizzou, of course, playing Illinois tomorrow here in St. Louis.
Is that a shot at me because I said I was for Illini?
I think John was upset about that. Believe me, he bleeds the black and gold.
I just, because you're always wearing black. You do some of their games, so I figured I'd just take the high road and not take the winning team.
High road.
I'd take the winning team. Illinois has been loyal to me ever since the Final Four, so I'm just showing my loyalty back.
Last time we had a wager, it was about a shaved head, I believe, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and you
doctored the tape is what you did.
No.
That's a base hit into right. They're going to wave in Miles. Throw by Griffey to the plate. Not in time, and Franklin drives in a run. How do you like that? A little bit of everything tonight. That makes it 8-4.
Well, the only thing you wanted to see, is he get another save opportunity? But, you know, there was a lot of satisfaction driving in another run from a guy that was let go by this team, the Cincinnati Reds, and their problem all season has been in their bullpen. So a rare hit and even rare RBI for Ryan Franklin.
Ryan Franklin, his first career RBI.
I guess that tells you how rare.
And here we go with Brendan Ryan, the 9th place hitter.
Just have some fun.
You know why Mike Stanton can still pitch? He didn't pitch in high school.
Well, see,
another guy what you're talking about.
I'm telling you. A lot of people think, you know, you got to start these kids young. Only half the time, all you do is hurt their arm. They aren't physically capable of throwing the baseball. I still have not heard a good argument as to why a 10, 11, 12-year-old needs to start throwing and be, even if they're the greatest little league pitcher in the world, you got a chance that it's going to deny you getting a college scholarship. And that's what should be the emphasis for everyone playing sports, is to get a college scholarship. And once you get your degree, if you have an opportunity to turn professional, by all means do.
Cole Powell. Well, it's been a crazy game tonight, hasn't it?
Yep. You know, obviously the Encarnacion has put a damper on spirits, but think about what we were thinking about when, you know, Anthony Reyes goes 1+ inning. And yet, you know, I talked with Hal McRae about this, that, you know, his offense knows that they're going to have to outslug teams at times, and they're going to have to, you know, pick up the workload. They let one get away yesterday because Pinheiro pitched well enough and should have gotten a victory. And he pitched effectively as he did, allowing just 2 runs.
See where Eckstein is standing on deck and pretty close to the home plate area. It's been a dangerous spot tonight. Phillips puts it away, and we are done here in the 7th. Ryan Franklin, first career RBI, his 2nd career hit. We head to the 8th. What's on Tap is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, always worth it. And tomorrow, game will be seen on Channel 5 on KSDK with Ricky Horton and Jay Randolph Sr. Reds and Cardinals. Wainwright making the start for St. Louis.
Adam be looking for win number 13. Cardinals trying to close this one out, and the bullpen will, Cardinal bullpen will have a 25-8 record if we can get 6 more outs, thanks to Rick Ankiel and his first Major League Grand Slam.
Brandon Phillips, 8-4 St. Louis. Cardinals have 12 hits. First pitch by Franklin. A swing and a miss. Phillips has tripled. Picked up an RBI in the first. Grounded into a double play in the 3rd and struck out in the 5th. And again, the bullpen developing as a story for a Cardinal team that has relied on it all season long. Strike 2.
I think Franklin's got a little extra in the tank and a little emotion trying to close this one out against the Cincinnati Reds. That Tommy Hume, their bullpen coach, wanted to have him back, but wasn't sure the general manager did, and they elected not to, and he's showing you what the mistake they made.
Strike out to start this inning, and this is done.
Shift is on with no one on base. So you have 3 infielders on the right side. And he shows bunt. You know what? go right ahead.
Take that all day, wouldn't you?
Sure, because chances are he'd probably pop it up.
Milwaukee wins their game 3-2 over Pittsburgh. Gallardo gets the win. He's 6-4. Armas lost 2-5. Cordero the save, number 38. Hart went 2 for 3 in that game. Houston over Chicago, as we mentioned. Rodriguez got the win. He's 8-12. Marshall took the loss, back to 500 at 7-7. Molina gives chase, and it's out of play. Hunter Pence 2 for 4 with 3 runs scored and 5 RBIs in the ball game for Houston.
Yeah, he had 2 home runs in that game.
That was Franklin's first hit since 2003 when he was pitching with Seattle.
Baltimore hung on and defeated Boston 9-8.
The 1-2 pitch. Play that paid off for the Cardinals was the fact that Miles stole second with Franklin at the plate.
You had to figure if he was going to get a base hit, it probably was not going to be an extra base hit, so put him out there in scoring position. And like I said, the combination of Stanton slow to the plate and the catcher's throw to second, the timing there worked in the base stealer's favor. Third walk for Adam Dunn. He's been on base 4 times. He had a RBI double back in the first inning.
You have started an email phenomenon concerning undergarments. Breaking ball and a strike. You wouldn't believe this stuff.
Just make sure you tell everyone you're the only one that reads that material.
That's strike 2 on Valentin. We hope that Encarnacion is okay.
Yeah, scary moment, but
line drive. He's standing on deck. Pitch that's low, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fly ball, shallow left. Who wants it? Good play by Eckstein to come up with it. Dunn back to first. And there's 2 outs. Eight to 4 Cardinals as we play here in the top of the 8th with 2 outs now. Always so important to try to win game 1 of a series, but when you have that man going in game 2, you feel very good about winning the series. And then you've got Looper going on the Sunday.
Yeah, and got a rookie left-hander tomorrow. Got Bronson Arroyo on Sunday, who's had a tough season.
The ball scoots away from Molina. He just flat out missed it. And Dunn on his way to second.
Pass ball. You don't know whether he was crossed up or not, but and somewhere, and I'm not sure about this, but somewhere in the back of my brain, I keep on thinking that Encarnacion got hit in the face, you know, with Detroit.
September of 1999. Good memory, Al. He was hit in the face and missed the rest of the season.
Almost had another incident with a check swing.
You know, it takes guts to get back in the box if you've been hit in the face.
Well, I've seen guys that Tommy Moore was a guy that playing in the California League that was promising outfielder for the Mets organization, hit in the face, never could, you know, make the adjustment, come back as a hitter. But he had a good arm, turned to the mound, and got to the big leagues as a pitcher.
Popped up, Brendan Ryan with a play. Foul territory. That sends us to the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Bud Light, always worth it. By Chevrolet. Meet the all-new Silverado 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. See for yourself. Shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by Vance Auto Parts, providing car care. Know how to protect your investment. We're ready in advance. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Top of the lineup for the Cardinals: Eckstein, Ankiel, and Albert Pujols.
And one thing we got to talk about is the 3 innings of shutout baseball by Todd Wellemeyer. Put the Cardinals in this position to make the comeback.
He had 3 double plays in his 3 innings of work.
And didn't allow a hit, but he walked 3 and then got a double play afterwards.
Why do you think that, as you mentioned, some of the Reds folks wanted to keep Franklin, but here in St. Louis he's had even better success? Why do you think it's been better this year?
Well, I think it's just another year of understanding and learning how to become a reliever. You know, really it was just last year was his first full season as being a reliever, having a defined role where, you know, he went to spring training thinking he was going to be part of the competition for the 5th starter. That never really materialized, but right away he was defined as the 8th inning man, and having that defined role with a 7th or 8th inning, pitching on a frequent basis, having other veteran pitchers down there to help him, and quite frankly being on a team that you think that you're going to be at least in competition, playing meaningful games in September. That keeps you going.
I would think for some players, not all, pitching in particular in this atmosphere would help them too.
Exactly. You know, pitching in an atmosphere where you got a packed house every day.
Stays 2-2 on David Eckstein.
You know, a lot of guys want to start, and not everybody can. But you know, I've seen guys that are a great starter on the day they pitch, but the other 4 days they don't know what to do to themselves. You usually find those guys in the minor leagues.
2-2 pitch, and Eckstein is hit by the pitch.
Second time. He was hit right ahead of the grand slam by Ankiel.
This year, when you can't be home to watch the Cardinals on FSN, check out MLB.tv. And you can log on to the internet to watch every broadcast on both the television and radio sides. MLB.tv. Nice round of applause for Ankiel, who is homered tonight. A grand slam. He's also singled.
Not only does he have the 5 home runs and 14 RBIs in just a brief time up here, but look at the .333 average. And he's done his fair share against left-handed pitching. Actually hit higher average in the minor leagues. He's done it here in the big leagues too.
Supplied a jolt to this team as well. You know, the fans are excited to see him. I think the players feed off that too.
Tony talked about the day he walked in that clubhouse. He hadn't seen a reception like that from the teammates. They were so happy to see him.
On a hop to short, and a double play ball. 2 outs, and it brings in Albert Pujols. Isringhausen up in the bullpen.
Not a save situation, but right now you just need to pile on the victories. So you're going to go to your closer and bring him in this game.
Get a lot of emails, folks asking us how Juan Encarnacion is doing after he took a line drive. The on-deck circle looked to be under his left eye, but they're calling it a left eye injury, and he's been taken to an area hospital. That's all we know.
You said too, though, he was hit in the face back in '99 by a pitch. Missed the rest of the season, so does have some experience. I know it was off the bat, foul ball as he was standing in the on-deck circle.
Two balls, no strikes on Pujols.
Hate to say it, but I think that might have came off the bat faster than a pitcher could have thrown it.
I don't think there's any doubt. Two and nothing to count on Albert Pujols. So far, a quiet night. He has walked, struck out looking back in the third. He's popped out 2 other times in the 5th and 6th.
Albert, good to see that the team is not totally reliant on Albert Pujols. He's pretty banged up right now. Mentality of Albert, a lot of the players, is I've got all winter to rest.
On a hop to second, he flips the bat, and that's it for the Cardinals in their half of the 8th. 9th inning rolls in. When we come back, it's 8-4 St. Louis. Back in St. Louis, where Jason Isringhausen looks to finish off this game, it's 8-4 St. Louis. Game reset brought to you by Singular. Singular is now the new AT&T. Started out rough for Anthony Reyes. Reyes lasted 1 inning, but then the Cardinals had to peck away tonight, and they did so. This team that is beat up a little bit, but yet trying to find a way to stay in the race. Cardinals 8-12-0. Cincinnati also trying to stay in the race. 4-6-0. Molina would help out the cause. A 2-run shot with his 5th home run. And another magical moment. Supplied by number 24. A grand slam off the bat of Ankiel. And here's Izzy.
Oh, Izzy hasn't pitched since his very busy last week, where he posted 5 games, 5 saves. Be co-player of the week. Pitched a total of 6 innings in that, and with his win or save on Sunday became 200 saves with wearing the Cardinal uniform.
Figure that Cairo will be activated tomorrow. You have Skip Schumacher, and the importance of his being activated tomorrow is now greater because of Encarnacion. What's happened with him, and we don't know about his future. You have Brandon in the fold, and probably Cavazos and Jimenez on their way up as well to give you some depth in that bullpen. Two balls and 1 strike.
Now the playoff roster has to be set tonight with a disclaimer. Guys that are on the disabled list are part of a pool. that you can select your 25 from. So it would appear, and just speculation, that it would take a little time for Encarnacion to come back. So I would think they put him on the disabled list tonight. You already put Roland on today, but if they came back in September, they could be added to your playoff roster if you chose to do so.
Leadoff walk.
Izzy's been outstanding at home. He's had a great season altogether, but at home he has an ERA under 1. Only allowed 3 earned runs in 28 innings and 27 home games.
Is Jeff Keppinger. Double play has been big for the Cardinals tonight.
Kepinger's batting almost 400 since he's been, or in the month of August, and he was one of the top hitters in the International League at the time of his recall.
All-American at Georgia, now in the major leagues. Strike 2. The 0-2 pitch. Boy, Molina has been beat up tonight. I mean, there's everybody beat up out there. Ryan Eckstein has been hit a couple of times. You had Duncan going for a ball that he hit off the wall and left. He personally hit off the wall.
This one, breaking ball so far out there, it goes off the side of his mask. It's a wild pitch.
Hopper, the runner at second base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the air to center. Edmonds backs up, gets in throwing position. Even though the throw is late, he's in perfect position to make the catch and then make the throw.
Go ahead and practice it a little bit. Also have a little pride to, save that run. Don't allow another earned run to go against your closer.
I wonder if they'll be talking about Rick Ankiel in Cardinals Live.
Why? Hit into a double play this last time.
Yeah, he did. Couple of hits tonight with a grand slam and a single.
Oh, that would make sense.
There's Josh Hamilton with 1 out, a runner at second, or rather at third base. Hamilton homered to start the game. He himself a wonderful story, and Rick Ankiel another great story. It's sharply to Eckstein. Run will score. There's 2 outs. That's a nice play. That ball was stung off the bat of Hamilton.
Yes, it was. And get the out. His second RBI for Hamilton, 43 on the year. And Hopper has been a very good player. Scores that run. You'll trade the run for an out.
You know, the thing about Rick Ankiel, he's only 28. He's still got a long way to go.
Yeah, and he's still remarkable because he still only had about 500 at bats in the minor leagues as a full-time outfielder.
Right.
Most time you say, get 1,000 at bats down there, and then you'll have an idea what kind of player he's going to be. That's why they wanted to make sure to leave him down there and get 4 bats every day until they deemed him ready. He's ready. And he's going to have some rocky times, but
and everything he's been through, you get the feeling he'll fight him.
Well, that's it.
Fight his way
mentally,
through.
he can handle a slump. It's nothing to some of the things he's been through.
That's right. 1 ball, 1 strike on Alex Gonzalez. Base hit. And still a home run can't beat you in this spot.
No, but you don't want Griffey to come up and do his thing with Phillips and Dunn coming up. So end it right here.
Ken Griffey Jr. had a winning home run off of Jason Isringhausen last year. And 1 for 4 in his career. Out to left center field. Slicing to Edmonds. He's got it. The Cardinals win it. 8-5. And Rick Ankiel hits a grand slam tonight in game 1 of this series.
Good come from behind win, Dan.
Sure was. Bullpen, another story tonight. Rick Ankiel, though, will be the one that grabs the headlines as he hits another home run this evening. Ankiel with home run number 5.
And Tony becomes the winningest manager in Cardinal history. With this victory here tonight, he passes Red Changes.
So congratulations to Tony La Russa, the winningest manager in Cardinals baseball history. 8-5 the final.